Welcome. ¿Cómo está mi gente?
Hear me now. War fire.
And hello, everybody. Now we are on with Super Wednesday Live, brought to you by Las Vegas Super Salsa Congress. And I wanna welcome my co-host and amazing friend, Brenda. ¿Cómo estás, Brenda? Hello.
I'm doing good, Armambo. Thank you. Hello.
I know
Another week.
there's a thunderstorm over there where you are. Are you guys safe?
Yes. Well, we are for now, Knoxville, Tennessee, but just some bad weather coming through. It really was supposed to be over about 10 minutes ago. So hopefully if I make it the next 10 minutes, I'll survive we'll survive.
Everything will be good. And tonight we have someone that is, of course, very special. The man of Las Vegas Super Salsa Congress, also director of Sin City Salseros, and CEO of Rhythms Dance Center, that amazing events and dance center and studio and banking center and quinceañera hall. And it's all about everything, that amazing place that it's Rhythms. If you are in Vegas, please visit the place, go to train over there. The rooms are just amazing. Mr. Nate Strager, how are you, Nate? How are you, bro?
I'm good. How are you guys?
It's amazing to have you, bro, in your show.
Hey, Nate, I just want to say, I know you're really busy with your studio, with the teaching, with training, everything, of course, pushing the Las Vegas Salsa Congress. So thank you so much for your time and being here with us today. We're going to keep this nice and short, wrap it up, half an hour. But thank you so much for being a part of this.
Next time, we need to make sure I don't go after Tito and Tamara, because they're like the legends of legends, right?
It's hard to follow, certainly.
Yeah, Tito's like, he's so humble, he just like, oh, okay, man. Yes, I love you too. Yes, I love you too. Yes, I love you too. I love everyone.
He is like that, and that's why. I mean, it's amazing to have him also at the Congress, and because they enjoy a lot Las Vegas Congress, and they make the Congress also like a family vacation, right? Because they always try to bring their son Triam. So they have an amazing vibe over there in the Congress, because they are kind of like enjoying and chilling over there, right? I don't know how you have been seeing them.
Yeah, I think Tito and Tamara should be the ambassadors for Las Vegas, or for salsa in general, because they are the history of salsa. They're very humble. They have integrity. Everybody respects them. They're so knowledgeable. Like, you can't say one bad thing about Tito and Tamara. You can't. It's impossible, right? Impossible.
Yeah, and who? I mean, we have a lot of headliners at the Congress, and who also do you think that is one of the people that you actually? I mean, of course, you appreciate a lot of the dancers that go, a lot of the outers, but people that you actually feel so proud of having them every single year, because of how special they are, of how they also behave with the attendees. They are always on time for the classes. What other headliners do you have that also respect for?
We only bring headliners that are on time, that are responsible, that make sure that they dance with the people, that give good shows. So I know that's kind of a general statement. I've had people in the past that weren't on time and the opposite, but there's Yamule, who's legendary, Tropical Jam, Full Project, and a lot of the couples that are grinding all the time, Javier and Kiki, and there's a lot of instructors that have been coming for years and have just been supporting, and that's very special to me, because the headliners, this is what they do, that's their profession, right? but these other couples that are really grinding all the time and really putting in work, and Mike and Jen and others, it's really great. So always
I just want to put in a comment here. Thank you, Lalo Rojas. Nate is always bringing great things to the dance community. So, I mean, it's nice to show that appreciation out. But I did have a question. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's been almost 25 years in this world.
Which is exactly what I was getting at. So tell us how it started, where it started. Tell us the beginning and the roots of the Las Vegas Salsa Congress. Walk us through, how, what, when, where, why.
I've told this story many times, but I'll keep it as short as possible. So I was working at a dairy as machine operator, and this black guy, his name was Antoine, used to come down, and he was a welder. And I had no idea that there was different nationalities of Latino community. I thought everybody was Mexican. I was really ignorant. I was like trailer trash, right? I didn't know there was like Bolivia and Honduras and Ecuador. I had no idea, right?
Let me mute myself a little bit. Let me mute myself.
It was so
okay. Cool.
It was so horrible. So I was like, Antoine was like, "Oh, you got to dance salsa," and I thought, I told him, "Oh, you're gonna throw the hat down and dance around it." Like I had no idea, right? So ignorant, right? I had no idea. Like you have to understand, I grew up in a trailer, right? So it's like 8 Mile in my world, right? Okay, so, anyways, so I finally go, and the first time I go to his house, and he has a twin brother named Satwan. So it's Antoine, Satwan, right? And they have the mask with the big fork and the spoon on the wall and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to salsa with African, like really African guys, right? So for me, nothing's adding up. So anyways, long story short, we go to the Mayan. There's a line around the corner. We get in. You know how you got to walk in LA. So you know how you have to walk left or right, right? You have to walk left or right to go around. And then once you get around, you see this big open area of people dancing and the stage, and it's so high with the ceilings and everything. I walked in, I was like, what the? Sorry. So my show is not for children. I'm just telling you. So if you're 18, I'm just telling you. So I walk in, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is insane, right? But I see black, white, Asian, Latino, Middle Eastern, everybody's dancing with each other. So I'm just standing there trying to take it all in. And at the end of the dance, everybody like kisses on the cheek, right? Whoa. So for me, this is huge because in my neighborhood, you don't touch anybody's girl, right? So, but then they would switch and they would dance with somebody else. So I was like, okay, everybody's having sex with everyone. I had no idea, right? And there's 2,000 people dancing in front of me, and everybody's just dancing and smiling. And remember, back in the day, everybody was super, super, super caché. Everyone wore suits, right? Nobody did not wear a suit, right? Now it's Pee Wee Herman pants, loafers, a tight shirt that's unbuttoned to your belly button, and like rope chains that hang out, right? So it's a completely different world. But anyways,
yeah.
So I'm watching this, and then there's an all Japanese band singing salsa, Orquesta de la Luz, right? And I'm like, holy shit. So there's an all Japanese band singing salsa, all nationalities, everybody's cool. It didn't matter if you were like white or black or tall or short, or it just didn't matter. And everybody was just kind of dancing with each other. And that was so amazing to me because I grew up in a really bad area. Like in my school, there were shootings and stabbings. It was just common, right? So to go to a place where there was literally no color barriers, and it didn't matter if you understood Spanish, it was amazing. It was amazing. So it changed my life. So after that, we went to the Dance Factory in Long Beach, and I took my first class with Salsa Brava. And then they were upstairs, and I was in a room like probably as big as my office, and there was 50 people. And, back then there was no white people dancing, right? Maybe David Stein, but that was it. And I was tall, so I was like running in place. It was really awkward. But anyways, so that was it. That's kind of how it happened in a nutshell. I was hooked there from that day forward. And I threw away all my rap CDs, so all my Tupac and Biggie and Wu-Tang, all that shit in the trash. And I was like, wow, I have to learn this because it's so inspiring, right? And I remember real fast, asking girls to dance. I was like, okay, I learned the basics before we got there. And I asked girls, and they were like, nope, 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 no. But they were like, no, wait, I'm waiting to dance with that guy. And they kept pointing to the same guy. And that guy was Johnny Vasquez. And you know, Johnny Vasquez is like this skinny, and his teeth are like gang signs, and he's wearing like a plaid shirt with like striped pants, right? So I'm like, wow. And at that time, I was in great shape, veins through my abs. I was a good looking dude, but I was holding up the wall all night, right? So I was like, wow, this skinny guy is like 115 pounds who's dressing like crazy, to me at least, right? Has like a line of women. So how I got into salsa, women. But why I stayed with salsa was because I learned to love it. I learned to love everything behind it. I learned to love the welcomeness of it. Like everybody's so welcoming. And it's like, it doesn't matter if you're tall and white or short and black or Latino or Asian. It just doesn't matter. It's all love. There is no color barriers. Everybody was so just welcoming and helpful, and like, no, it's okay, you'll get it next time. And that was great. I had never experienced anything like that in my life. So it was just amazing, right? And so that's kind of how it all started. Then I would travel to LA every week, and train. And that's my long story, short story.
So I have to just say really quickly here, Ecuador, thank you for being in the house. And Nate, I am Real says you're super cute.
Who? Because I'm single. No. I hope. Wait, is that a guy? It's not a guy, right?
I don't know. So just say at I am Regeo. So
Regeo. Okay.
All right.
So that's on Instagram. So we just wanted to pass along the message.
I don't know if you want to experiment something new.
Which is one of those questions that I did ask Celso, you know, just that people are clear when they see you. You've already stated single, which means available, so they can hit on you. I just want to put that out there. Nate's available.
But I am looking for a relationship, not a booty call. No booty calls, only relationship.
Thank you, Nate.
I want kids. I want kids like Armando, and you know, I want a family. And right now, I'm just practicing, right? But eventually, like, I want a relationship.
Okay, so moving on, Nate, real quick here. So, how did you get to the Las Vegas Salsa Congress?
So just so you know, this interview is going to be way different than Tito saying "I love you."
Of course,
yes,
we know, yeah,
totally. We're feeling.
You were expecting that, by the way.
I love you, Tito. Okay. So the Congress. So the Congress started in 2004 or 2003, and we borrowed some money. We started it. It was in the Palace Station. We did 23 room nights the first year. It was like 300-400 people. At that time, it seemed like 500, but I think it was realistically like 300. Tell me.
I was there.
Were you there?
I
wow.
Was.
So crazy. And then the second year, we were like, let's go all out, right? We did it at the Hilton, and we lost our ass. We lost like 30 grand.
I was there.
The third year, we lost. I lost like 10 grand. The fourth year, I lost like 10 grand. And
I wasn't that one the fourth.
Were you the fourth? And that was at like Alexis Park, and that was the low point. Somebody got stabbed. It was like Cowboys, and we had Latinos, and it just didn't matter. Anyways, so that was that. And then we went to the Stardust. And then and then they blew that up. And then we went to Tropicana, and we've been there ever since. And I tried to go to a few other places, but the Tropicana has been very welcoming. It's very affordable. As you guys know, prices keep going up, but they kind of work with us. So we started the Congress like that. And I had started traveling probably 3 or 4 years into my dancing career. I started doing the Congress circuit. Then I started getting paid and getting travel and things like that. And I was like, okay, I see all this. And I know Albert was big into like bands. I know you guys remember Salsa World, where it'd be like Oscar de Leon, Sonora Ponceña, Típica 103, all in one night, right? It was insanity. But for me, I felt like, okay, so the music is one of the most important things, because without music, we have nothing, right? Exactly. So I respect the artist tremendously. But I feel like in this day and age, especially over the last 10, 12 years, I feel like people get into dancing. Okay, unless you grow up in a Latin culture, you know salsa. But for white, black, Asian, blah, 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 we don't know salsa. So we have to see somebody dancing. So my thought was, let's bring the sickest, as many sick dancers in one place as we can, and let's just blow the roof off, right? Let's just blow it off and let's just kill it. And that's when I started bringing Tropical Gem. And I was like one of the first ones to say, okay, I'm bringing Tropical Gem every year. And I had seen Fernando, and I called Fernando and I said, look, I know you don't know me. This is like 12, 13, 14 years ago now. But I'm going to bring you every year until you die. But you can only do Vegas in the US. And he was like, no problem. So for 10, 11 years, Fernando only did Vegas. But then we had called Osmar, and Osmar was going to Orlando at that time the same weekend. And for us, that was like our two pillars, Tropical Gem and Yamule. And we said, hey, Osmar, we'll bring you every year to Vegas until you die, but you can only do Vegas 4th of July weekend. He was like, no problem. And both of them have, I've become very, very close with, and then we have the other, so anyways, that was always my vision, is like, how amazing would it be not to just see amazing the last 3 shows or 4 shows or 5 shows, but the last 15 or 20 that are just mind-blowing, right? Like every show is just like, holy
one
shit.
after the other, boom, boom,
yeah,
boom, headliner.
I want to go rehearse right now, and because that's what happened to me. I was inspired and it changed my life. I was hanging out on corners and gangbanging and all that stuff. You know how there's always one white guy with all the black guys? So that was me, right? So that was me. Yeah. So that was me. But that's all that I knew, because I was a product of my environment, right? So not that that's it bad, but a lot of gangs. So I saw that as like, okay, I want to inspire others to be welcoming and help each other, and spread this love of salsa. Salsa is just so amazing. It doesn't matter if you know how to dance or not. You see people pass by restaurants and they hear it and they just kind of stop and they try and move, right? But that's amazing. I think I would rather see that than anything. That inspires me more, to see somebody that's not Latino pass by a restaurant, hear salsa, and start to move and try and get into it naturally, only because their body just can't help it, So
yeah, and that's one of the effects of salsa, that it goes into you and that it makes you kind of like, that's why the rhythm's so strong, and it's amazing to have so many, as you say, so many people, so many cultures, different colors all around, just because of one just simple goal, that is just go and dance. And I think that what Vegas Congress does also, that it just brings an amazing place that is Las Vegas with an amazing Congress, and a lot of people go for both, because they can experience an amazing Congress and they experience an amazing city. So it's also a great holiday or a great, like trip. It's not only the Congress, it's the Congress right in a hotel in the Strip in one of the greatest cities.
So let me kind of let everybody know, for us, it's not about the money. It really isn't, right? We can easily do our events 20 minutes off the Strip or 30 minutes off the Strip and save 30, 40 grand easily, right? I mean, because we do now 2,500 room nights, which is a ton, right? But for us, we want people to stay on the Strip. It's backs up to the airport. You're on the Strip. You don't need to take a taxi anywhere. And you're right. I mean, everybody knows our pool parties are legendary. It's literally 1,000 people. And that's not just me being a promoter and there's like 10 people. You can look at the video. There's 1,000 people at the pool parties, and the competition, right? So the competition is really important because it's the ultimate Latin dance championship. It's not like, okay, we have on one with one sock down, one sock up. Okay, we have on one with, a bow tie. And on one, for us, it's like, okay, your couple, you dance salsa, on one or on two, compete against each other. Whoever's the best takes it, right? There's too many divisions. And then we have Salsanama North American finals. I am Relio, right? So Relio, real fast before we take a break, because I know we have to take a break. Relio is a bachata singer, bachata producer, and this is the perfect example of somebody that's not Latino, straight black guy, right? From the South, that loves it so much, he sits in his closet and he literally creates bachata beats, right? Does he have the greatest voice in the world? Absolutely not, right? But he's like the R. Kelly of bachata. He's all like R&B bachata. He's all like, take your clothes off, blah 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 blah. And my hook. So there's a hook that he's gonna sing on the next track. You'll see it. But this is a perfect example of somebody that is in love with Latin culture and bachata, and he's black. Like he's a big black dude, you know, but he loves it. Like he's so engulfed and infatuated by it that he's a bachata producer. He's singing now. He's doing concerts around and things like that, right? So I think it's inspiring to see that, you know, and you shouldn't see it as, well, he's not singing in Spanish. So I mean, that's what he feels. Or
there's a lot of salsa in English as well. That is really good.
some, yeah, okay, yeah. But you know, so you know, let's support him and let's support, you know, everyone. It doesn't matter. So
and he's gonna be this year at the Congress, right?
He is, yeah, and yeah. So yeah, so we were trying to bring Alexander Abreu.
Yeah.
Oh man, but it's just too much. I can't. It's COVID. I want to so bad. That would be an ego thing. But I know you saw him in Eurozone.
Yeah, just recently.
It was sick.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. And he just blew the stage at the Feria de Cali in Colombia.
Man, okay, so maybe
maybe
if we can get like McDonald's to sponsor it, because you know he likes to eat, right? So maybe we give some Big Macs and he'll maybe cut it in half.
Okay. Talking about a sponsor, we have to go through a little commercial break.
Commercial break.
Sponsor us, you know?
Yes.
Thank you, Armando.
Ya estoy en zona, tranquilo que ya llegué. Dice, vamos allá. Estoy en zona, tranquilo que ya llegué. Repítelo. Y como vengo. Estoy en zona, tranquilo que ya llegué. Ya se comenta en el barrio, existe preocupación de que no estoy en escena. Dejen el chisme, por Dios.
The first thing you notice when you arrive at Tropicana Las Vegas is that everything has changed. From the moment you arrive, you'll enjoy unique VIP service and you'll be immersed in the casual South Beach vibe of this modern Las Vegas paradise. Tropicana Las Vegas features great dining experiences and thrilling entertainment choices, including Club Nikki and Nikki Beach Club. And when you need a rest from the excitement, adjourn to your very own sanctuary in the Tropicana's best-in-class rooms and suites. Surprise! It's the new Tropicana Las Vegas.
Mi canto viene del alma, tiene rumba y son. Lo traigo y lo llevo conmigo aquí, del África, Nueva York. Mi canto es para ti nada más, tiene rumba y son. Lo traigo, ya me lo llevo, del África, Nueva York. Desde el África hasta Nueva York.
All right, and we're back to the Super Wednesday Live. And Nate, now that we saw the Tropicana video, I wanted to tell you there's a pro tip, like a pro Las Vegas South Congress tip. Why should we book our hotel like as soon as we can? Because I know the hotel sells out really soon. But why should people book the hotel through the website or through hotel.superwednesday.live?
So
why do we shouldn't go to Expedia or, you know?
Yeah, if you book Expedia or some other way, or even through the Tropicana directly, you're gonna pay a full resort fee every night. It's not just a one-time fee; it's per night. So I think it saves you $15 or $20 per night, and then also we're guaranteed the cheapest rate. So even though you see something on Expedia or something else, at the end when you check out, they go, "This does not include fees and da 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 da." but they put it in really small writing. So trust me when I tell you, we block off 2,800 room nights, and we go through all of them. And always the last 2 weeks, people are like, I need a room. I need a room. Can you give me a room? I can't get you a room. That's it. We're sold out. So that's always the way it is, but we take a big risk in taking that bulk because we have to sell through it. But we do it to save you guys money. And we want to let you guys know that, there's a million congresses now, or festivals, or whatever you want to call it. So you guys taking your hard-earned money and your vacation time and all that, and coming to Vegas and supporting us, we really do appreciate it. We all started as a small event, and we grew, and we may be the only super congress in the world. And the reason why we call ourselves a super congress is because just to kind of differentiate, not in a egotistical way, but we do have a huge competition of 30 something divisions, and we are the Salsanama finals for North America, and we all have, blah, blah. So the reason why you should
battle of the DJs as well.
Battle of the DJs. Now we have battle of the salsa DJs and battle of the bachata DJs, right? And we're not just doing vinyl anymore. It's anything goes. So, we try and save you money because we know that you guys work hard, especially through COVID, right? So take your what's the check that they send out to everyone from the government? The
Stimulus.
Take your stimulus check and go to My Salsa Congress right now and book your hotel, and you're going to support small and local business. And now we're actually a nonprofit. So we actually became a nonprofit to try and help and give back and things like that as well. So
well, I just want to say, I'm sorry, Armando. I just wanted to say really quickly that when you were talking about Las Vegas Congress, bring your kids, and how it's a family vacation. Like, I always took that time to spend with my daughter, and we do remember going to the Las Vegas and doing the workshops and working the pools and having some fun, and then taking some dance lessons and staying up until midnight because we're both young kids and stuff. But it really is a family vacation where during the daytime, if I didn't want to take the workshop, we would go out and just walk on the strip, and it is
see a show.
Exactly. And it really is just a full service kind of a congress where it has a little bit of everything. So, and as you saw in our video clip, our pool party, and that was just a small snippet. We have better pool footage. So if anybody's interested, you can go to our website and see crazy snippets of our pool parties.
And I think we know that people aren't going to come to Vegas and just do the Congress. They're going to go Encore Beach Club or a Cirque show or Grand Canyon or whatever. I mean, you're already here in Vegas, right? So why not take advantage? And we understand that. We encourage it, I mean, we want people to see it not only as a Congress, but as a vacation. This is a vacation, spending our hard-earned money. You have many options, and we're glad that we can give you options, and that's why we spend so much more being on the strip than, confining you to a hotel in the mountains somewhere where you can barely see Vegas, it really is important for us to give you a quality product, because at the end of the day, it is a business, right? I mean, you have to bring in a certain amount of money and you have to pay bills, right? So we really do want people to have a good experience and get a good quality product.
And you know what? It's also amazing that every single time that we go, that we start the shows, and we have the small kind of like pep talk meeting to the dancers. I always ask, please raise your hand, like everybody that is your first time performing in Vegas, or your first time performing ever. And there's a lot of people that always raise their hand. That it's also a very important congress and a very important stage that a lot of people sometimes they try for the first performance for the first time, or we always have a lot of new people going to the Congress, and that's so important because that's also shows how a lot of people believe in that event. As you say, so it's the same thing. It's a lot of responsibility because people are taking their time and money to go to experience that event, and I love that we always have a lot of new people.
It really is. And I want to say something that's kind of changed over the years. I remember going to Salsa Land, we all remember. And I remember performing backstage and nobody would go back to the hotel and change. We would change backstage and run to go dance, and we would dance all night, right? Now people get done performing and they go to their room till 2 o'clock in the morning and then come down for an hour and try and, show out. It's really important that we make everybody feel welcome. We start off the show with me saying how I felt welcome. And here I am, co-owner of the Vegas Congress, co-owner of Sin City Salseros of 22 years of Sin City, the Rhythms Dance Studio and Event Center, and another project that's launching soon. I felt so inspired by it because I really feel like it does change it. It's really important that we welcome everyone and we just don't stay in our cliques and just dance with the good dancers just to get that Instagram fame or that tag or whatever, right? At the end of the day, we all started for the same reason, because we were inspired. So don't forget that, dance with everybody, it's just so important, just extremely important. I think sometimes we do get caught up hanging out with each other. We all kind of hang out with each other, like the ones that have been around for a while, me, Armando, Brenda, Adolfo, blah, 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 the brothers, whatever. But I think it's maybe because we're in the same world and we can relate more, right? But let's not forget to really go out and reach out and ask that, well, for me, right? Ask that lady that's been standing there waiting for the dance for 15, 20 minutes to dance. Who cares how good she is? Doesn't matter, right? We really need to embrace the community and what we have, because you never know when it's going to end, So 2022 is my last year performing. That's it. I'm done. 2022 is it. I have 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 congresses in 2022 that I'm doing, and I'm done. I have to take something away, because or I'm going to be a 60-year-old man in the salsa club chasing 35-year-old women, and I don't want that. I want a family. I want kids. I want, right? We just never know when it's going to end, right? So it's really important to get outside that popular box and really, really be out there and make people feel welcomed and inspired. If they see you and you're putting on a good show or a good workshop or whatever, and afterwards you're taking pictures, just don't like chocolate and then leave. You know what I mean? Like, you have to really embrace just everyone. So I think it's really, really, really important.
And after having this, yeah, thank you for that, because after having this, this halt, this stop in momentum because of the pandemic, is, I think that what I've seen in the couple of events that I've been going to now, people really missed it. Like, when people are really with that. They really want to dance again. They really want to go. Like, they a lot of people, I think that they saw what they were taking for granted, and they really miss, and they really want to go. They really want to go and give back, as you say. Like, trying to appreciate more what we had.
I agree. I just wish we were more supportive of each other in the hip hop community. If you see a group of people doing a routine, like they learned a choreo in like a workshop, and then they do it and they take turns in groups, and everybody around is screaming, yelling, encouraging, right? I wish we had that same encouragement in our community. It used to be like that a lot more. Not that it's not like that now. It's just a little less. It's a little bit more scattered in like the rich and the poor, right? The beginners and the pros. So I just wish it was more encouraging of all levels, and I believe that everybody is. I just think we get caught up in the business side of things. Also, this year is my last year performing, but my goal is not to do Congress. I think I've done 1,000 Congresses in my life, right? So my goal is to do, we're doing an 1.5-hour Latin show. It'll be an 1.5 hours at my studio. So we'll have 200 chairs. We'll rep it. We have a huge LED screen. We're doing a huge production with, all the, a bunch of dancers and big band and this whole story. And like, it's going to be insane. Right. But before I leave this dance world, I just don't want to do another Congress. Not that Congresses aren't amazing and they're inspiring, but I feel like we have the potential to do so much more and make an impact in the mainstream world, because the mainstream world has no idea who the fuck we are, right? They don't know. We could, Brenda, Armando, we've been doing congresses for over 20 years. Has anything changed other than adding bachata, kizomba, and zouk?
Yeah, I mean, I always say that we are a very also a very new industry as well.
We are, and I
And
heard that.
yeah,
I heard
talking
you say
about
that. Sorry.
competition stuff like that. No, go ahead. But and I think that we are kind of like growing a little more on the competition side, because has helped us also to achieve a higher level of professionalism, and also gain respect from other forms of art. And I do think that also little snips that also mainstream media kind of like look to us, or they always help us. It helped us when we had the Mambo Kings, when we had Dance with Me with Cheyenne,
Oh.
and now with what Lin Manuel Miranda is doing with Brooklyn High, Washington Heights, and with now with the remake of
West Side Story.
What's the story? I mean, it's always good for our community. It's always good to that somehow mainstream media is looking a little bit to our community. Somehow.
It is, and I was gonna say that, right? It's amazing to see J Lo use the Colombians.
Yeah, of course, with Super Bowl.
Oh man, what's his?
Swing Latino.
Thank you, and see West Side Story and the Heights and etc. But I really want to see our community like not as a guest choreographer or assistant choreographer, but the choreographer. There's a guy, he was on Dancing with the Stars, the white guy that has the show here. I forget his name, Derek Hugh, right?
Right.
And so he has a show here. It's a very small stage, and everybody's blown away at what this guy can do. And he has a really good show, and I'm really happy for him, and kudos to him, right? But he's making millions of dollars doing what he loves, and I'm sure he worked hard to get there, right? But there's so many amazing dancers in our community that nobody knows about. And this isn't about Nate and Sin City Salseros, right? Sin City will always be a top 10 company no matter what year we are, right? It's about our scene being recognized and respected on what we can do, because you have Tropical, you have Pablito, you have us, Yamule, Ernesto and Denise's team, and so on and so on and so on. You put them on TV, I'm sure people are going to go, wow, that was amazing, right? But I don't want to see them as guest choreographers. I don't want to see them as assistants or whatever. My goal of doing this show, which you'll see later this year in 2022, is to sell it to Cirque or another producer and have it in the main stage 5 nights a week, right? And maybe use dancers that are just doing the Congress circuit, want to be in a show for a year or two, It's really important to make our scene grow and not just do another 20 years of Congresses, which is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Congresses, right? Congresses are amazing. They're inspiring. They're a good time, blah, 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 blah.
They inspire local people as well.
And a lot locals, yes. And that helps all the dance studios. I got a call from Rico and I forget his wife's name. I think it's Emily from Seattle or Washington. They were like, oh, we have a school now. And I was like, oh, congratulations. That's awesome. So it's amazing to see like the Ayala brothers start from 14 years old, 10 years old. Now you can put that down. Now having, I'm not done yet. You can put that down. Now having, I need 5. Now being 2 of the top dancers in our scene, their school is booming. They're so respected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do we get these 2 amazing brothers somewhere else where they're more seen and more respected and more, there's so much talent. So, and Armando, we need to get your band more exposure, more travel, more, and so on, right?
Thank you, man.
Yeah. So I have a question for both of you. It's okay. We're going to go a little bit over. Brenda.
Yeah.
Why do you dance salsa?
I don't dance salsa anymore. I retired.
Okay.
No,
Why did you dance salsa?
I got into it because I'm Puerto Rican and I have to. It's in my blood. But I wanted to inspire my daughter. I mean, I only performed in Vegas, I think only once, but I loved social dancing and I loved learning and I loved learning more from different people and just the excitement that comes from interpreting the music the way I hear it. And so that to me was one of the reasons why I kept on taking classes and learning and sharing that, on the dance floor. Yeah, that answers your question.
That's awesome. Armando, why do you love salsa so much? You're the Dick Clark of the salsa world. Why do you love salsa so much?
For me, salsa somehow it has first it saved my life somehow, and it has led my life. I started dancing danzón in Mexico.
Okay.
That is very popular at age 14 because my mom kind of like made me to take classes, and from there kind of like it was something that I started to do that somehow, because I was kind of like never good at sports. I was very mediocre at sports and everything, but I was good at dancing somehow. My dad is a musician, so also I started doing, going to the music, and I started dancing, started giving dance classes since I was in high school, just to share that passion that I had, and it just made me feel alive, and it actually made me feel that I was good at something, at the beginning, and then long story short, I started performing with a student team from Victor and Gabi had in my city, and but as you guys know, I met Albert and Albert Torres, rest in peace, and I started working with him, and since then I kind of like wanted to work in kind of like a little bit in the backstage. So I kind of I stopped the performance kind of like way of that and started doing all the backstage work for that.
Oh.
And then after that I started emceeing, and
Now you have your band?
from now I have the band, I have the social, and thank God now before the pandemic I traveled a bit, like about 30 weeks a year, in congresses, festivals, anniversaries, stuff like that.
So the reason why I asked you to, and I know we have to go, is just because I think we all started for the same reason. We were all inspired, right? So we need to not lose focus of that inspiration and inspire others and keep it going, because it's our job, it's our responsibility at the level that we're at. My level, go figure, a 6'3" tall white guy would be where I am in this world, and Armando's level and Brenda's level and Jose and Karel and so on and so on. It's really our job to keep it going, keep the inspiration going, and keep it growing, right? So we can do bigger and better things. So thank you for having me, because I know Brenda's dying to go. And we'll see you guys in Vegas. And I appreciate both of you for being so loyal and die hard and taking the time every week. And thank you.
No, it's a pleasure, man.
Thank you, Nate.
And thank you for having.
Thank you, Nate, for your time.
For having also that amazing event and making it more amazing every single year, bro.
For sure.
Especially be a part of it.
For sure. All right.
All right. It's a pleasure. Thank you, guys.